Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing this install. I went a few different places, so I recorded this install yesterday, so you know today I'm all done up and stuff. But in the video I don't got on no makeup and it's a voiceover, so I hope you guys enjoy regardless. I plan on doing a little chit chat more soon, but if you don't follow me on Instagram already, I've been going on live a lot, so if you miss me chit chatting with y'all, follow me on Instagram. JaLeah, we can be online, we can chit chat, but for now, let's get into this hair, this Beyoncé inspired hair. Here's the picture that I was inspired by. I'm not sure if I directly achieved that, but the color is like beautiful. I'm about to stand up and show y'all. The ends are a light blonde and the middle is more of a deeper brown, and then the roots are brown. So it's like it's a transition, you know, it's a vibe. This hair's natural texture is water wave, but the front was kind of not giving me the wave that I needed and wanted, so I went ahead and just crimped the front, but I will say that the rest of the hair is in its natural texture, so we can just get into it. Stay tuned and keep watching. So let's get started on this dye job. I'm using Ion Color Brilliance. The first two were dark brown, these are dark blondes, and the last is coming up. It'll be here in a second. It is light golden blonde. I wish I would have gotten 3 boxes of the dark brown, but we'll see why later. I did want to show this Vaseline because I like to use the bottom Vaseline. So the top, it's a lot thinner, it's not as thick, and I think it gets out of your lace a lot easier. I didn't show that on camera, but I did definitely cover my lace in Vaseline. Totally great trick. Please implement this into any dye routine. Now I'm just using a Talenti jar because I didn't have another jar for my dye, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and that's what I had to do. So in that jar went the dark brown, and in the purple, the like pastel purple one, it was the it was the silver blonde, and then in it don't even, why am I saying it don't matter? Damn, let's get to the dyeing. Shit, y'all never see them bows ever again, and here I am telling y'all what's in each bow. Anyway, you should make sure your hair is in different sections. I made these sections entirely too big, and that's part of what I'm here to do on YouTube. I'm going to tell you the mistakes I made so you don't make these same mistakes. I made these sections entirely way too big, and it ended up biting me in the ass in the long run. I thought it was going to save me some time. No, it actually, made me have to do more work. So if you do this right the first time and get an adequate amount of dye and saturation on each strand of this hair, it'll be fine. We can get into how I did this really quick, but I will say I have to touch it up again later, so none of this kind of matters. But let's say it anyway. So, in this middle section, I decided that I wanted to just put the dark blonde in it, and then the whole middle of the back of the head would just be dark blonde. I wasn't going to give it any rooting. That was the initial plan, except for on the sides. On the sides of it, I did give it the dark brown because I wanted it to like look right, if the wind blew or whatever. But other than that, the whole middle section is dark blonde. And then I do save the ends of the hair. I leave them out so I can put the icy blonde. It's a nice little cool blonde. I made sure the ends were not covered in any dye so I could do that, and I'll show that in a second. As for the bottom part that you didn't see me actually do, I went ahead and used the dark brown and gave it some rooting, but you'll see this process again, so it kind of doesn't matter what happened there, honestly. Right now, for the top section, I was just putting the dark brown on the roots again, and I cannot emphasize enough how much I needed to make smaller sections. Like, I need to make smaller sections. Note to self, JaLeah, make smaller sections. That's all you gotta do. So I am putting the dark brown on the root, and then I put the dark blonde on the rest of the hair except for the ends, which will be having the icy blonde. I'm gonna let this get to dyeing because I really don't got much to say. This is an easy process as long as you do it right. I would recommend making much smaller sections and taking your time. This isn't something that you can just get done within 45 minutes. I mean, for me, even though it's had bigger sections, it still took me an hour, so I can only imagine how much time it would have took me to just do it right, and then how much time it would have saved because I had to go back and dye it again. So I'm gonna get up y'all ass, I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna come back when I got something to say. I almost was off your ass, but I forgot to tell you what I did with the dye. I actually did mix it with 30 volume developer. For every package of hair dye, you need 2 ounces of developer. I felt like that was important to note, so I'm gonna let y'all know that. But everything will be in the description box. Please check there if you have any questions. Now for these front two pieces, I made the rooting a bit smaller than the rest. Like, I think the rooting had to be, you know, smaller than an inch for this part. That was the goal. I wanted the front two pieces, like the framing pieces of my hair, to be more highlighted and framing. So that's what this is right here. And then I'll go ahead and start adding the dark blondes and making sure that I leave out that end so I can add the it's not an icy blonde, but that's what I'm calling it now because I don't know what it's called. It's called the icy blonde right now, period. And here's me showing you that some things were just out of angle and I just didn't know, so I apologize for that. But I feel like, you know, if you smart, you got common sense, you gonna figure out what I was trying to do with what I was trying to get at. So now I went about just doing the rooting on this side, and I made this rooting about 2 to 3 inches long. It kind of depended. And I made sure that I combed out the end so it's not blunt. You don't want anything to be blunt. You'll see me often using my dye brush in like a swipey motion. You'll see that when I get to doing the root again. Just to make sure that everything is blended, it doesn't look harsh. You don't want any harsh lines on your dye job. That's not cute. And then also, you can also be as willy-nilly as you want with this dye, because if you covered your lace properly in the Vaseline, you won't get any dye left on it. I did get a small dot of dye on my lace, but that's because I didn't cover it fully, and that was my fault. If I had covered it fully, it would have been fine. So don't worry about getting any dye on your lace. You'll be fine. After this, I did go ahead and put the dark blonde over and, you know, followed the whole steps over, but I just didn't feel like it was necessary because y'all just see me do that already. So, and you can't really see much because of the dye. It takes time to like shift color, so it kind of looks like I'm not doing anything, but I am. So don't worry, things are happening. I was kind of shocked because I didn't think it was really going to dye right, but it did its job. I just really recommend making much smaller sections. I don't know why I thought I was going to get things over with when I know that the key to coloring hair is saturation. So here's where I messed up at. You can clearly see that the roots, I mean, I barely touched any of the root of, you know, anything. You see all this blonde? Now look at all that blonde I just did not touch. So I knew I had to do something about it. So here's the front. As you can see, the roots were kind of dark, but they weren't dark enough for me. I feel like they weren't giving, you know, the effect. So I went and got some honey brown dye. They both have one of these of each. So I got both of them and it ended up being the same color. I mixed some conditioner in with it and I got to dyeing. So I did the bottom section already, and I could already tell that it was going to look a lot better. I'm sorry that this camera is cut off at the top, but I feel like you're going to get the gist. All I did was just apply the dye, and as you can see, this is a much smaller section. Like, this section is shitting on the other sections, like, for real. So I went ahead and made sure everything was nice and saturated. I made sure with this that it was nicely saturated. Also, I don't mix this dye with any developer. It doesn't need it. It's really just a color, like, it's just ready to go. So the conditioner was the only thing I mixed into this dye. And then as you can see, I'm doing the little swipey motion I was talking about, where I, you know, do it horizontally, the horizon is horizontally. Girl, I mean vertically. I did it hamburger style. Is that what it is? Girl, I ain't been to school in a long time. I'm doing the roots now, and like I said before, I'm only doing about an inch of it, so I'm using this edge brush, and I'm just making sure that everything is nice and precise, and then I'll use the comb side of the edge brush to make sure everything is blended through. And then that's it for the dye job. The roots added such a nice dimension. It made it look so much better, like, for real. So now it's install time. Look at how much better the roots made the whole overall appearance of the hair. It really gave it some dimension. It just made it look a lot better. I did go ahead and pluck it, and as you can see, I got a little bit of dye on the lace, but it's not where it counts, so it don't matter. I'm going ahead and cut my hair into 3 different sections, and then I'll begin using my gummy glue by Wholesale By. I really love this glue right now. It's the bomb. It melts my lace fantastic, and yeah, I totally recommend you get it. I went ahead and laid the lace down. This wig was a little small. That's why I don't got no makeup on, because I really did sit down and get ready with like my full face on. I came on to do this wig glueless, and this wig was small, so when I was trying to do glueless, like, it was pulling from one side to the other. I had to really force this wig on my head, y'all, for real. So I couldn't do it glueless, so I ended up taking it off, and then I had a moment, and then I came back on that night with no makeup on because, yeah. But just know, this is a lot of work. Even though I know y'all be looking at these videos like, oh, this 14-minute video. This took me 3 whole days. No, maybe 4. 4 whole days. This potato salad, what he said, it took me 3 days to make this potato salad. 4 days. Shit, like, really. Like, I really had to get that out because y'all don't be knowing. But it's took me 4 whole days to make this wig, and like I tried to put it on 2 different occasions. So there's me laughing at some Kenny JD, I think her YouTube is. She do bad movies in a beat. She's funny. Her channel is funny. You should subscribe to her. She has more subscribers than me. But if you didn't know who she was, she does bad movies in a beat. You can YouTube search that. She's funny. That's what I was laughing at. But now I'm just installing. You see how I ain't talk about shit with this install because y'all see me install wigs all the damn time. What else there to talk about? Y'all see it. You see what I'm doing. Shit. Now I'm going to razor it off. You know, you knew that. You already knew that was happening. Like, don't act surprised. This is what we be doing. Period. So now I'm just going to cut off my ear tabs, nothing crazy. I've noticed I'm trying to make my ear tabs a lot bigger because sometimes I cut them too small and then my wig is like off on the side. Elastic band time. This elastic band was a little too small and it was pissing me off. You know, I got long nails, but it's okay. We move. This is the next day. It's the next afternoon, and I'm using this Saweetie edge fixer to do my edges. Mixing with some wet line. I didn't really plan on using the wet line, but I really am a wet line girl. I know some people don't like wet line because it flakes, but I just know that I'm gonna have to do my edges again the next day, so like if it flakes, so what? But also I think mixing this in with the edge control, it gives it less flake. So I don't know, maybe try that if you think that the wet line is too flaky for you. I don't know what else there is to talk about. Oh girl, look at my hot comb. I'm about to tell you about my hot comb in like 2 seconds. Ready? I'm about to tell you about my hot comb. Ready now. Yeah, I'm just gonna use my rhinestone hot comb. The rhinestone hot comb. Yeah, that's what I'm finna use. You heard me. I'm finna use my rhinestone hot comb. I really love this hot comb. I got it as a gift for my birthday. It's from Kendra's Boutique. It's a $55 hot comb. I've never had this expensive of a hot comb before, and I really feel like it was worth it. Like, it gets so hot so quick. It's cute as hell. I'm putting some concealer on my part, which is essential. Don't skip out on this concealer on your part. Like, don't. And then now this is my new technique for doing my sideburns. I just use my flat iron. I give it a little curl. And then I go ahead and use either some gel or some edge control. And I just brush it down and then comb it into place. And it gives that swoop by itself. Like when I just comb it down, it naturally goes like that. So I love doing my baby hair like this now. I really do. So at this point, I was noticing that my hair didn't feel complete to me. Like, it just felt like it was just halfway done. So I ended up putting some crimps using this Vidal Sassoon crimper. It was my mom. It's old as hell. I don't know when she got this or how she got it. But I'm going to shut up and we can continue my final thoughts. Alright, so that's how I've got this hair. I had a different shirt on, but we're back to this. So, my thumbnail will be a different outfit too. You know, it is what it is. I'm about to record another video too, but as of right now, I want to talk about the hair. I think I should have mentioned in the voiceover that I do think this is a blend of plastic and human. Here is the piece of plastic I found in the hair. I will say this hair takes a while to dry, and I think that's because of how damaged it is. It is a 613 and it was dyed. So next time I touch this hair, I do plan on deep conditioning it. I should have done that this time. It was really my fault. I should have deep conditioned it. But for the fact that, you know, it's bleached blonde, you know, it's damaged. You know, that's what happens when you bleach hair. So for it being damaged and bleached blonde, I still think this looks really good. It took the color so well. But I did think if we were mentioning that, I don't think this is 100% human. Honestly, I don't think a lot of hair is human. But that's a conversation for a different day. So here is the final look. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, beautiful.